Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about the OPI Holiday for 2016 collection. This one is themed after Breakfast at Tiffany's. It's called Breakfast at Tiffany's, and there is a Tiffany blue in here, a lot of reds, a lot of sparkles. We're going to get right into it. If you are new to my channel, I do live application here so that you can see exactly how these are going to apply when you go to put them on your nails. So hopefully that'll give you a better idea whether you want to chase after something or not. There are a lot of polishes in here that you're going to think look a lot like other things. So I am including a dupes portion of the video at the end. So we're going to talk about lots of things here that possibly have dupes, or things that are already in OPI's line that are very close, that might not be dupes, but you know, that are similar comparisons. So let's get right into these polishes. I did get them from polishpick.com, which is the best place that I can find so far for OPI. They are $5.25 a bottle, which is a pretty great discount. So I definitely recommend you check them out. I will link that down below so you can go purchase there. They are already for sale now. So in typical OPI style for their holiday collections, they include a lot of reds, and this year is no exception. We have 4 that are very red. I'm going to get these reds out of the way first, and then we'll talk about some other things. I do want to say that everything in this collection, actually, yeah, everything had a pretty great formula, but the reds in particular have a spectacular formula, as is usually the case with OPI. So first up, we have this brightest red. It's definitely a bright cherry red. It actually has a lot of white in it, so even brighter really than cherry. It's called Meet My Decorator, and Decorator is in quotes. I'm going to be showing you 2 coats of everything. Some of these are actually just 1 coaters. This one is just absolutely beautiful at 2 coats. It goes on nice and silky and evenly. Have no complaints here with this one. It was really fun. It was fun to see something a little bit more lively and youthful in a holiday collection. Next up, the other true red cream is called Got the Mean Reds, and this one is just darker than the other one. It's not super dark, but in comparison, it's just darker than the other one. A little bit more of a classic red, I'd say. Again, really great at 2 coats. This goes on so easily, just no problems. That's the thing I love about OPI reds. They know how to do it so well by now that you really can just put them on and know that it's just going to be easy. It's going to be cake. This next one is a favorite for me from the collection because it's definitely something different. I don't think OPI has a polish like this in its collection, which I'm happy that that's the case because I like to see new things from them, not just all kind of repeats of what they already have. So this one's called Fire Escape Rendezvous. And this one has a sheer enough base that you can see all the glitter shreds in here. We have silver and red glitter shreds, and then we have silver and red micro glitters in there, but it's not really that sheer because I was actually able to get this done at 1 coat. So it's a really nice kind of duality here because you can really see all the product that they put in here, but it gets nice and opaque. So actually the picture that I'm going to show you is just this at 1 coat. I didn't really feel like you needed to layer up more because what that's going to do is just layer up the shredded glitter, and it's going to be more bumpy on your nail. So this is a case where OPI has mixed kind of a lustrous, almost frosty metallic polish. It's not quite in that direction, but lots of the polishes they do this with, I end up not really liking the finish of it because it looks too bumpy and it's too opaque. But this one worked well, so I actually really like this one. The last red in the collection is a nice deep red, and I was thinking this might be an oxblood, which got me really excited when I first opened the package. This is called Can't Read Without My Lipstick. But it's not really oxblood. There's not quite enough brown in there. I still see a lot of cool tones in this polish. When you go to swatch it, it actually looks rather berry. So it's just like a very deep berry with a lot of red and brown in it, but not really a true oxblood. In any case, it's absolutely gorgeous. This is probably my favorite polish that I swatched out of them, just because this feels so delicious on the nail. If every polish swatched like this, I would be in heaven. This isn't a 1 coater polish, and I do really like 1 coat polishes, but I think I would trade all of my 1 coat polishes if they all swatched like this. How do I explain it to you? It just feels so good applying, like it feels so silky, and it's so glossy after you've done applying it that I really don't mind going in for that second coat just to deepen it up a little bit. I was just so in love with this, and it's not necessarily the color that's super ultra unique, although I do really like the color. It was just the feel of this polish. I loved the formula. Next up, another polish that I really liked. This one is called Rich and Brazilian, and I wasn't sure how much I was gonna like it when I looked at it in the bottle, but I'm happy that it does translate as beautiful as this looks in the bottle. So what this is a very deep berry with a lot of shimmer. It's got fuchsia and silver shimmer in it, and it just looks absolutely amazing in the sunlight. This looks very nice and deep and delicious when you're not in the sunlight, so that it's still very pretty, but I really love how that shimmer comes through. This one is actually really special. Next up, we have a pinky pink in this collection. This one actually surprised me a little bit. This one's called Apartment for Two because I feel like OPI does have a few things like this. In fact, I can see a few things on the wall there behind me that look just like this. So it surprised me a little bit, but I do have to say it does have an absolutely gorgeous formula. This is practically a one coater. I did two just for good measure, but this goes on so easily, so beautifully. It's really opaque. It's just a nice pink with a lot of white in it. It's going to give you great coverage. If you don't already have something like this, I definitely recommend because it did have a great formula. All right, now that we have all those reds and pinks out of the way, we're going to move into the second half of the collection. This polish that we're going to start with, I think, is the main piece of the collection, and this is the polish that I think a lot of people are going to be wondering about. How good is this Tiffany blue shade? So this is called I Believe in Manicures, and it is a very beautiful color. We will be going over how closely these dupe other blues already in OPI's line so that you know if this is a must-have. But now we're going to be looking at live applications. So the thing about this polish is I really want to love it so much, and there's nothing wrong with this polish. However, I just feel like they could have made the formula a little bit better. Case in point, the polish that we just looked at, that pink, also has a lot of white in it. Granted, it's a little bit darker of a polish than this blue, but it just went on so much nicer than this. This was a little bit streaky on the first coat, so that on the second coat I needed to make sure that my application was really good so that I didn't have to go for a third coat. That was my only problem with this polish. I do think the color is absolutely beautiful. I'm happy that this color exists in their collection, and I do recommend it to you. I just feel like the formula maybe could have had a little bit better opacity, maybe not so streaky on the first coat. So, I mean, it just depends on how much you love blue polish, how much you love to collect iconic colors like this from iconic collections like this. I would recommend this polish to you, but the live application kind of shows you what to expect. It's not going to go on like a dream like some of the other polishes in this collection. The next polish in the collection is very beautiful. This is the lightest polish. It's kind of a very light pinky champagne color. It's called Breakfast at Tiffany's, and this one has a lot of gold shimmer from within. You know how I like my gold shimmer. This actually does look very similar to some things that came out this year from Sinful Colors, if you know what I'm talking about. We'll go over that later on. This also does dry matte like some of the polishes that you're thinking of from Sinful Colors. This is nice though. It did good coverage for such a light polish in 2 coats. It was a little bit streaky on the first coat, but I thought it was good. I actually anticipated this and absolutely needing 3 coats, but I think it's actually doable at just 2. All right, so this collection only gave us 1 silver. Hooray! I got so silvered out after the past holiday collection from last year. This is called 5 and 10. And this is really neat in that it's definitely a very light metallic lustery silver, but it has glitter in it again, but it's very, very small. So this isn't going to give you that ucky bumpy metallic glitter thing that OPI has done in the past. I actually enjoyed this. It has very fine pink shimmer in it, so I think that's what makes it kind of special. But it's just very delicate. It's just barely there. And then the glitter pieces in it are tonally the same color, but they're also very small. So they're not going to stick out a ton. I hope the live application is showing you what I mean here. I did need 3 coats on this one. I thought I could stop at 2, but I just could still see some of the nail lines. So I went ahead and did 3. I do still think it's really pretty though. Alright, we do have 2 holographic polishes in this collection, which I was very happy about. Let's talk about the pink one first. This polish is called Sunrise ... Bedtime with an exclamation point. This polish has a slightly tinted pink base, and then it's very, very, very light pink glitters and holographic glitters in here. Very small micro glitters. So the live application that you're looking at right now, I'm actually showing it to you as a topper. I put it over the pink just so you can see how it applies in just one coat. It's very nice and thick. And after I'd done that, I went ahead and took pictures and swatches for everything else. And then today I put it on again, and I put it on its own because I thought that actually went on really well in just one coat. What are the chances that this is a full coverage micro glitter? So then when I applied it that way, I actually noticed that there are, it's a textured polish, it really is. It does have that kind of grittiness in the base. It's a clear grittiness, so it doesn't show up or anything, but in the base that makes this build up like a textured polish, that kind of just helps to fill in the gaps between the glitters and make this full coverage. This is absolutely gorgeous. I was sharing this with you guys yesterday on my Snapchat, and this is so beautiful. It really does just look like I have diamonds on my nails. This does dry a little bit dull. I mean, even though it's holographic and it's glitter, and that's always gonna shine, the textured nature of it does make it dry a little bit dull. So you will want to probably periodically through the day apply top coat. That's how I liked it, because it really, really made it just so bright, so sparkly. I really enjoyed it that way. So I liked continually applying top coat. I mean, not continually, but you know what I mean. So this is 3 coats. On its own, I really like it the best this way, so that's why I wanted to talk to you about it this way. And I was really excited to see a textured polish, like a full coverage holographic texture from OPI. I know not a lot of people like texture. I can go like this and it's not scratching my hand off, but you might not like any kind of texture like that. In that case, you can always use something like Super Chick Lacquer's Marvel Plush, which what it does is just adds a really thick top coat. It's like kind of like glitter food, and then you're gonna put that on there and let it kind of seep in, and then you'll put your top coat on after this. So this is kind of like a middle step. You can definitely go with something like that and it might help you out, but guys, I feel like this is one of the showpieces of the collection. Definitely a must-have. The next polish in the collection is the other holographic glitter, and it is called Champagne for Breakfast. It's just very much more light and delicate. Not as much glitter comes off on each pass on this polish. So this one is silver, micro silver glitter and holographic micro glitter, and it's in a clear base. It's just very delicate and beautiful. Basically you can top it over anything. As you see, I've topped it over the Tiffany blue in the collection. Just really, really beautiful if you don't already have something exactly like this, because I know a lot of indie brands do have polishes like this. However, the polishes that I've seen from indie brands are usually, the micro glitters are cut even smaller, it seems like. All right, we are to the last polish in the collection, and they gave us a lustry black polish. This actually isn't so lustry, it's just kind of like the exact shade of my minivan. Like, it's a black polish with a tiny bit of silver shimmer, like so small that you can barely see it. You know, like how when you look at your car and it's painted, and especially when it's nice and clean, like mine rarely is, you can see all the shimmer in the paint that they used for the car. So this is what this looks like almost exactly. But I really liked this. I don't know if it was because it's not as lustrous, it's just like barely there. I feel like this is my new favorite way to wear black. I really liked this polish. It wasn't a one coater. You definitely need 2 because it's a little sheer at the one coat. But there was something about this. After it was on, I was like, yes, I'm really, really feeling this. Now, like I said, it's just barely lustry. It's not over the top or anything. I was really enjoying it. This does dry kind of flat, so you will want to put a nice glossy top coat on it, but I was digging it. We are gonna go ahead and look at those dupes now, so let's get into that. Okay guys, we have lots to cover here. Let's just go straight through the polishes in the order that I reviewed them for you with the live swatches. So the first polish we're going to talk about is Meet My Decorator, and all the polishes from this year's collection are going to have a little dot by them. As you can see, the closest polish is here, and this is a new acquisition for me. I found at Marshall's recently. This is called Tasmanian Devil Made Me Do It, and they are pretty darn close. If you were to ask me which one was which, I couldn't tell you. The other things I wanted to compare it to, which as you can see are not as close, but they're similar in the bottle. This over here is Aloha from OPI, And then way over here, I wanted to show you another one that's not quite as similar, but it is a very white red. It has a lot of white in it, similar to Meet My Decorator, and that's 5 Apples Tall from the Hello Kitty collection. And here's the polish on this side with the one that I thought was most similar to it so that you can see how similar they are in the bottle as well. All right, next up we're going over for comparisons and dupes for Got the Mean Reds. That's right here. The polish that is most similar, in fact, again, if you were to ask me the difference, I couldn't tell you, is this right here, and this is from this year's Alice in Wonderland collection, and it's called Having a Big Head Day. So as I was looking through my stash, it was all the very orange-toned reds that were similar to this polish. So one more thing over here on this side, this is Big Apple Red. It is similar, not exact, but it is very similar. And then on this side, some very orangey reds, but these are more jelly crelly finishes, so they're not gonna go on the same way. On this side, we have Red Hot Rio, and over here we have Fashion a Bow. They're all very similar. Nothing that's really an exact dupe because this has a teeny tiny bit more orange in it, but they are super duper close. And here is the closest dupe for you in a bottle shot comparison so that you can see. Got the Mean Reds is here on this side, and Having a Big Head Day is over here on this side. The next polish we talked about was Fire Escape Rendezvous. I do not have anything to dupe this polish, so no comparisons here. Okay, next up we're going to talk about dupes for Can't Read Without My Lipstick. That's here with the dot. So this is the very deep burgundy red with lots of brown in it. The polish to the immediate left is in a Holidays. They are not exact because this one is much more of a jelly crelly, so it goes on super thin. If you did 3 coats, it would build up to be a little bit more like this, but it has a lot more berry tones in it. This polish over here is Guys and Galaxies from last year's holiday collection, and I guess if I had to pick, I would say that was the most similar because they're really very close, except this one's just darker, but they have the most similar formula. And then over on this side from the Gwen Stefani collection, this is I Sing in Color, which is similar, but as you can see, much, much darker. So I don't have an exact dupe for this polish, but some similar things. All right, so here are the bottle shots. On this side, we have Can't Read Without My Lipstick, and over here, Guys and Galaxies. As you can see, not dupes, but they are pretty similar. All right, time for the pinks. Can you tell the difference between these pinks? They are so similar, you guys. Okay, so here is Apartment for Two from this year's collection. I feel like the polish that is super duper similar is this one all the way over here. And this polish is called That's Berry Daring, but this one has just a little tiny bit of blue purple luster going through it. It's barely there, but they're the same color. This just has a little bit of luster. Okay, so if you don't want any luster in it, these two are incredibly similar. So from, again, the Alice in Wonderland collection, this pink here, we have Mad for Madness Sake. They are so similar. I truly feel you don't need them both. This is just a tiny bit darker. And then this here, again, is from the Gwen Stefani collection. This is called Hey Baby. Just a little bit lighter. These two are probably just exact dupes for each other. So they're both just a tiny bit lighter than the polish in this year's collection. All right, so here's the bottle shot comparison. The one that I felt was most similar is Mad for Madness Sake on this side, and we have Apartment for Two on the right. So, yep, super duper close and in the same year, you guys. All right, so the very deep and luscious Rich and Brazilian over here, one of my favorites. I didn't have an exact dupe for it. The closest thing is Pepe's Purple Passion, and it is kind of a similar idea, but as you can see, they're very different in the base. This has a lot more red in it, but they are kind of similar ideas. That was the closest thing I had for you. And here they are side by side in the bottle. This one is Rich and Brazilian, and this one's Pepe's Purple Passion. Okay guys, so where I do like to remind you that I don't have every OPI polish to give you comparisons of, I do think that I have every blue OPI polish. A little obsessed, maybe. So anyway, this is the polish in this year's collection. We have I Believe in Manicures right here. As you can see, a beautiful blue. I'm going to compare it to a few things that I thought were kind of similar, and then these are the polishes from the Alice in Wonderland collection that I had specific requests to show comparisons for. So here we have I Believe in Manicures. The most similar thing to it is right here, and it's from this year's retro summer collection, and this is called Sailing and Nailing. Sailing and Nailing is a little bit lighter and maybe has a little bit more green in it, but they are very, very similar. I love blue polishes, so I would want both of these even though they're so similar, but I would probably still want both of them. As you can see, there's nothing that's an exact dupe. Let's point that out first, obviously. Okay, so over here on this side, this is Can't Find My Checkbook. Obviously not a dupe. I just wanted to show it to you because this is a super duper favorite among OPI fans. And they are tonally kind of similar. This is just way darker, obviously. I just wanted to show you them side by side. And then over here we have Gelato on My Mind, which is obviously a lot greener, but they are kind of similar in lightness. This just has a lot more green. So over here on this side, we have It's a Boy from the Soft Shades collection from this year. Way more white in it, way lighter, obviously not a dupe. And then over here we have the two polishes from the Alice in Wonderland collection. Alright guys, so here are bottle shots of the most similar things in my opinion. As you can see, even in the bottle, they are not exact dupes, they're just very similar. Alright guys, so it's time to dupe the name piece of the collection. This is Breakfast at Tiffany's right here, and as you can see, I have an exact dupe for it for you here. These are not polishes from OPI's line. This is the only polish that I made an exception for because I wanted to show you that you have this exact polish already if you've been picking up a lot of the polishes that I've been swatching for you this year. So this is a beautiful, very light peachy, champagne-y off-white with tons of gold shimmer. And you know what is the exact same polish? You might have guessed it. This is Sinful Colors Angelic from the Trend Matters collection that Kylie Jenner released with Sinful Colors earlier this year. So I put them on side by side. I couldn't tell you a difference if you asked me. They apply both beautifully. I love them both. But if you already have this and you're not an insane OPI collector like I am, you probably don't need to pick up this one because they're the same. And also this one was only $2.99. I do have to say this was limited release, so it's gonna be a lot harder to get your hands on. So anyway, there's those two. And then if you wanted something with a little bit more white in it, this is also from Sinful Colors. This is from the first Kylie Jenner release, the King Kylie collection, and that one's called Cocoa Nuts. And it's just whiter, as you can see, but it has that same beautiful gold shimmer going all throughout. So there's another option for you. Sinful Colors actually gave us a cajillion of these very light polishes with gold shimmer, so there's lots to choose from, just depending on what base color you want. Because I did it for the rest, I'll show you these two side by side. We have Breakfast at Tiffany's over here, and we have Angelic over here. They are just the same, which is really fine with me because it's not like it's duping the same exact interesting polish within the same brand. But I just wanted to show you. They're just the same. Hello, I found you, my long lost sister. Next up, I want to show you a quick comparison for 5 and 10 from this year's collection. This is what I have to compare it to. As you can see, it is not an exact dupe. I just wanted to show you that they are the same idea. So 5 and 10, of course, is this gorgeous, very light, shimmering champagne with pink in it. OPI did something very similar this year in the Hello Kitty collection, and this one's called Kitty White. As you can see, they're not dupes, they're just very similar in idea. So if you loved this one, you're probably really gonna love this one. Here they are side by side. I just wanted to let you see what they look like in the bottles. Alright guys, so this is the Magical Sunrise ... Bedtime. I have no dupe for this one to show you. I've already been asked how similar this is to Teenage Dream. I don't own that polish, but I've looked at pictures online and I can just tell you the base of Teenage Dream it's mostly like a pink base, and then it's small holographic glitters and then larger hex holographic glitters. This polish doesn't have any of that deviation in the glitter. It's all uniform size. So that's how they differ. I think that they're way different, especially if you love pink or holographic or anything. You definitely would want both. Not similar enough to call them dupes. Alright guys, so really quickly, here is the silver holographic in this year's collection. This one's called Champagne for Breakfast. The only other OPI holographic that I have that's in a clear base that doesn't have like any white or any other colored glitters is Which is Which from the Wizard of Oz collection. So there they are side by side. As you can see, they're obviously not dupes, and so yeah. Additionally, here they are in their bottles. You can see Which is Which has just a ton of different kinds of stuff going on. It's so cool. Okay, here we are at the end. This is Black Dress Not Optional from this year's collection, and OPI does have a few blacks, but the only one that I had the same kind of silver luster in it is 4 in the Morning from the Gwen Stefani collection, and this dries super duper matte, so if you want this to look more like this, just put top coats on both of them and they'll be the same. In fact, I'm going to do that right now so that you can see how similar they are. All right, there you have it. Don't they look so similar? As I said, the one in this year's collection is just a little bit darker. Alright guys, so I hope that you found that helpful. Like I said, you can pick these up at polishpick.com. The link is in the description bar. I think that's all I have to say. I am happy with this collection. I'm very, very happy. Overall, nothing absolutely blew me out of the water, but it did not leave me disappointed, which I was really happy about. That's going to go ahead and conclude my review. I will see you back for the next one, and take care until then. Bye! So this is a really, really bright electric blue. Anyway, this is really pretty. I've tried some butter linens that have not been so good in the recent past, so I was glad that this one was good. It's really red and beautiful. This was a contender for my top spot, but another one just kind of stole the show.